what we miss when it comes to the money equation. What many people, they don't know, and I was also part of these people because I made lots of money mistakes. It's how to take care of our money. So today we're going to talk about savings. If you're new to my channel, this is Tarie, the founder and blogger of Let's Talk Finances with Tarie, and please don't forget to subscribe on our channel as I share financial literacy videos every Saturday. So as I've mentioned, today we are going to talk about savings. Remember, I did mention on my first videos that we've got 4 pillars of financial literacy. So we spoke about budgeting and we spoke about investing. So today we are going to our 3rd pillar, which is savings. So what exactly is savings? Saving, this is the money which you put aside for your short to medium term goals. Remember, I said that you need to have financial goals because your financial goals are the ones which give you a direction of what you want to achieve when it comes to your money matters. Because once you don't have a direction of what you want to do with your money, that's when you find that the moment when you get your income, it always goes to other things because you don't really have a proper plan of what you want to do at the end of the day. So when it comes to savings, we are talking that it's a short to medium term goal. If you still remember, we said investing, it's a long term goal. So when it comes to your savings, we're now talking that this is a short term goal of the things which you want to achieve within a space of a year or up to 5 years. The first thing to do before you start saving is you need to cultivate that saving habit in yourself. Because if you don't have that habit, it will be difficult. That's why I always say that it's easy to make money, but taking care of it is the difficult part. So you need to start cultivating the saving habit. How can you do that? This is when you can start like putting aside 5% or 15% of your income every month and set it aside and put a goal towards it. What is it that you're saving for it, right? I love this saying which says, save the cents and the dollars will make themselves. So why do we save in the first place? There are many reasons why you do savings. So firstly, I'll talk of the emergency fund. An emergency fund, I love to call it a do-it-yourself cover. This is a cover, your insurance, which you have to do on your own. And the emergency fund, you mainly do it to cover for your rainy days. Like let's say, for example, your child falls sick and you don't have a medical aid. If you don't have money set aside, the first thing which comes to your mind is to go borrow the money for you to go and see a doctor. So to avoid you borrowing the money, this is when we are talking that if you have that emergency fund, you can quickly go to that fund and take the money and you are avoiding debt at the end of it. Right. So with an emergency fund, you need to put your goal that you want to set this money for your emergency fund. So you can do baby steps and say that, okay, for a start, maybe I'm going to put $100 or 1,500 rands for my emergency fund. And as you get more money, start increasing that emergency fund. Because the actual fact which we want, your emergency fund should at least cover 3 months of your expenses, of your day-to-day living expenses. But with many people, we don't really afford that. So that's why I'm saying at least start somewhere. Looking at your income, at least have a definite a figure which you can afford just to put aside for those emergencies, so that at least you don't go to borrow when you're faced with an emergency. And the next important thing with your emergency fund, you need to define what constitutes as an emergency for you and write it down on your financial goals that these are my emergencies, so that maybe when you get a phone call from a friend for a late night going out, you don't feel the urge to go and get money from an emergency fund. So you need to define what constitutes as an emergency fund. So that's our number 1, why we do savings for emergency fund. Number 2 is we also save for what we call the sinking fund. With the sinking fund, we say this is the money which you save aside. Let's say, for example, you want to get a new phone or you want to get a new set of couches. You save this money aside so that you don't go and get on credit. You are saving this money. So we call it a sinking fund because at the end of the day, you are still going to use the money. So that's why we call it a sinking fund. So it's very important that you also put it on your financial goals, that maybe next year I need to change my phone and how much is it going to cost me, and this is how how much I'm going to be putting per month, so that you go and get the phone without going into credit, right? Then the third other thing which you can save for when you want to actually start your investments, and say maybe you don't really have much money to start investing now, you can actually start putting something aside for that period when you want to start investing. Then when you have enough money, then you can take that money and start to put into your investment, right? Then lastly, you can also start saving now for your children's fees. Like for example, myself, my kids, they're still very young. I've got a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, but I've already started saving for their university fees, because it's very important to look for that future now. Because remember, as I always say, that our present self is as important as our future self. So it's very important to start thinking about that now. So the next question which comes now is, how do we save effectively? So this is a debatable topic, because many people, we've got different things how we think about it when it comes to savings. So I will share 3 things which works for me, which I've been using over the years. Number 1, doing stokvels or playing rounds. So the first thing which I just want to tell you when you're doing stokvel is that you need to understand why are you doing the stokvel. You need to understand your goal at the end of it. Why are you doing this stokvel? Because if you don't have a goal, this is when you do the stokvel, and when it's your turn to get money, you just use that money on other things. Because at the beginning you didn't have a plan of what was your end goal of joining the stokvel. So that is the most important thing. But this is the stokvels is something which we grew up seeing. Like with me, I always saw my mother doing it as I was growing up, and it's something which really works, because other people, they're not doing stokvels to even buy properties. So why not doing the stokvels? But you just need to remember why you're doing it. What is your end goal when you get your money? You can also open a fixed deposit account. So with a fixed deposit account, you can go to the bank, and what I advise people is, don't be afraid to shop around the banks and get the bank which gives you the highest interest rate and which is lower bank charges. It's very important, and for you to do that comparison, you are not charged for it. And with internet, we've got free information on it. So you need to do comparison and choose the bank which gives you a higher interest rate, because it doesn't make much sense to put your money in the bank and at the end of the year you are getting a lower income, right? Then the last thing of how you can do your savings effectively is you need to save a few dollars, because I always get this with many people, that my income is little, how can I save? So what I advise you, even on that little income, save that little cents. Save those little cents. They will add up. Eventually they will add up. So it's better to save those little cents. I can also share another tip which I do every day, and it's been working for me. Like when I go to work, I don't buy lunch. Lunch is, they say that lunch is cheap because it's just 20 rand, But with me, I prefer that the groceries which I have in my house, I prepare my lunch, I take it to work. Because at the end of the day, if you look at it, we can say that lunch is just going to cost you maybe 50 rand a day, your breakfast and your lunch is just going to cost you 50 rand every day. But multiply that to 20 days, which you are going to work, that's going to cost you 1,000 rand. And per year, that's 12,000 rand, which you're just wasting on food and lunch, which you can actually avoid and put it to save for your future, right? Then, so the other thing why we really need to save is that the moment when you live from paycheck to paycheck, this is when we like move in a circle of the rat race. So we need to start forming new habits so that we can commit it, because remember, our future self is as important as our present self. And also, the moment when you start saving, it can help you to pay off your debt. So before you actually start saving, you need to pay off your debt, because it doesn't make much sense to save money and you got a high interest debt which you're paying. So what I advise, try to pay off your debt, and that money which you're paying the debt, you can start channel it to your savings. Then also, if you feel that you don't have much money to start saving, you need to increase your income. Remember, I always say that we need to think beyond one source of income. So you need to look for other ways to increase your income so that you have more money to put on savings. So let's plan for the future, because this is the time we have now. let me close saying that take care of your money so that it can be able to take care of you. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And also don't forget to check our website as we are selling this book, What School Never Taught My Daughter. This is my first book, which was published in June, this year in June. And you can also order this book on our website. And also we have introduced the My Money Matters Academy, where we can teach you of how you can channel through your financial to get to be financially prudent. And we now also offer financial literacy classes for children. We have a 90-day program. So you can check through our website, then you can get more information. Thank you for now.